Hey there, pharmacy owners. Dr. Lisa Faast here, and I'm going to be diving into one of my favorite topics. It's a little bit controversial in the pharmacy space, but really in just all of our privacy data space, but data mining. I love data mining, and unfortunately, data mining has gotten a negative connotation because it can certainly be used for evil. Also, in the pharmacy space, it's also been very bastardized, I will say. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of story of kind of how I came upon data mining in my first pharmacy and what I did and how I used it in order to increase my profits. And then I'll talk a little bit about how you can use data mining nowadays, both on the prescription side and on the over-the-counter side, to boost your profits, no matter if it's coming from either side of the counter, so to speak. So what I did is we all get those reports. We all see reports from our pharmacy management systems, and you're looking at the numbers, and it's very easy to look at the downside. We look at how many prescriptions we lost money on, what are those percentages, what insurances those are. And one day I was sitting in my office and my pharmacy was doing pretty good, and so I had the thought that I must be making money somewhere. I'm paying my bills, I'm looking at all these negatives. What am I making money on? And there wasn't a pre-built report for that. Funny. So I called my PMS system that I had at the time and figured out how to get a report that would show me the other side, not the negatives, but show me the positives. And really, my jaw dropped. I had no idea I was making money off of all of these different prescriptions. And so my thought is how do I get more of those? And so one of my top prescriptions at the time was generic Accutane. And it's not so much of a big money maker now. Sometimes it is, but it's not so much about the drug, but it's about knowing the drug, understanding the patient that gets that drug, understanding the doctor that prescribes that drug, and understanding just the general kind of community of people who play with that drug, so to speak. So I'll give you my example with Accutane. So Accutane, obviously a lot of teenagers and young adults, dermatologists prescribe it. It's used for acne, for those of you that may not know. And so I instantly thought, how can I get more of that? I was making a killing dispensing this, but I wasn't dispensing that many. And luckily, I had a dermatologist office right across the street from me. She was probably the second biggest dermatologist in town. And so I had a good relationship with them. And so I walked across the street and I started talking to the girls and I was like, hey, tell me about Accutane. And all of their bodies were like, oh, Accutane. And I was like, oh gosh, like what's wrong with Accutane? And they're like, it's just a pain in the butt. Like the pharmacies don't dispense it within the 7 days. We're always having to recertify and reschedule patients. And they just started dumping on me of all the things they hated about Accutane. And it wasn't anything to do with the drug. It wasn't anything to do with the patients. It was just the process around Accutane. And for those of you that may not be pharmacists, maybe you're just own a pharmacy, there's a whole clinical process around Accutane that does make it kind of arduous to dispense. So I took in all this information, all of their complaints, went back across the street to the pharmacy and thought. And so I was like, I can solve these problems. So what I ended up coming up with is my Accutane program. And the Accutane program was a couple of things. We addressed the side effects. So the side effects of Accutane is really dry skin, dry flaky skin, dry lips, maybe cracked lips, and sun sensitivity. So we can handle that. We can do that over the counter. So I've grabbed, good sunscreen, good lip balm, all those kinds of things that are over the counter. Those are cheap products to kind of solve that side effect. And then I made a deal with the doctor in the sense that my deal is I promised to have the Accutane in stock. I will do everything humanly possible to make sure that that patient gets their prescription within the 7-day window. That meant free shipping, free delivery, there wasn't drones back then, but I would have used a drone, whatever it would have took to make sure that patient, so that way the patient didn't have to recertify and take up more time with that doctor's office. So what we ended up doing is launching this Accutane program. It solved the doctor's problems. It also solved the patient's problems because the patients were very uncertain. And one of the complaints from the doctors was patients would be calling the doctors all the time with these very basic questions. They got tired of answering these very basic questions. So our consult with the patient not only did get the Accutane packed in a little piece of paper with all the things that are in there and how it addresses the side effects, but we told them, call us first, call us, your pharmacy first, if you have any questions, And if needed to call the doctor, we will obviously tell you to call the doctor, but call us first. And so that took a lot of call volume away from the doctor. We had it in stock. Patients could get their prescription filled right away. We often had it ready before they even walked across the street from the dermatologist office. And it was beautiful. The doctor ended up making a rule that if they didn't get it filled at our pharmacy, because they couldn't make them, but if they didn't get it filled and they had to get recertified, there would be like an additional fee, which was really awesome for us because it really promoted people to come to us. And so within a very short time, we were filling essentially 100% of all their Accutane. I ended up rolling this program out to basically every dermatologist in our town, and I filled a boatload of Accutane, and it was very profitable. My whole little first aisle bay was just filled of all the, generic Accutanes and all the different strengths, but it was worth it. And it was a highly valuable program. It is valuable both to the doctor and the patient. And to me, that's what data mining is. Data mining is about finding out what's profitable, either stuff that you're already filling or leveraging kind of the greater ecosystem of all independent pharmacies, find out what's profitable, and then figuring out a marketing and strategic strategy to go get more of those prescriptions. If people are going to get those prescriptions, they should get them from you. And then it's also the downside. What's not working? What's not making money? How can we do less of those? A lot of times sometimes it's old drugs, old therapy. We all know doctors get stuck in their ways, and there can be better therapy. So let's optimize those patients' therapy, maybe get them on something that's better for them, and we don't lose money. And so really at the heart, like that's data mining to me. And so it's kind of been bastardized. It's gotten some negative connotations because some people have just gone hog wild with it. I love finding profit opportunities. I don't believe in going hog wild, but I do believe it's okay to make a profit filling a prescription. That's okay. And it's okay to target those prescriptions. It's okay to angle your business towards stuff that makes you money and to move away from stuff that doesn't. Just like right now, on Medicare for brand name medications, we don't make money. It's not even that we don't make money. We lose a significant amount of money. So we move away from those. There's no reason to keep burning your hand in the fire. You move away from those. And so it's okay to angle your business towards those kinds of things. And there's very ethical ways to do it. And I do think there's some unethical ways to do it. But data mining can be just so useful. You are sitting on a gold mine of data in your pharmacy. You have thousands of patients. Even if they don't use your pharmacy anymore, you have information that is critical to help sell to them and solve more of their problems. Ultimately, to me, data mining is understanding a patient's problem and how can I fix it? How can I become an attractive pharmacy so that they choose me to solve their problems as opposed to my competition to solve their problems? And so that to me is at the core of data mining. So I gave you an example on the prescription side, but let's now switch to the OTC side. Many pharmacists, because of the negative connotations with data mining or switching prescriptions, they just don't feel comfortable in that space. A-okay. You only do what you're comfortable with. To me, it's yes, you can switch drugs or add on. I usually try to add on things that take care of maybe side effects or things that are better, but you don't have to necessarily switch prescription products in order to kind of play in that game. You can do what I did with the Accutane, which is you just change your services so that you attract those profitable prescriptions to you. I didn't change anybody's prescription for the Accutane. I just marketed and created a program that had attracted them to me. Now, on the OTC side, you might be more comfortable with this. One of the areas that I think is far underutilized is drug-induced nutrient depletion. I did my graduate year, year-end, research paper on drug-induced nutrient depletion. That was in 2001. Yes, I'm old, when I graduated from pharmacy school. And so I have been a lover of drug-induced nutrient depletion for over 20 years. That's a little scary to say. And it's just as important nowadays as it is back then. We actually understand more about drug-induced nutrient depletion than anything else. So this is a perfect way to strategize and data mine your patients and communicate to them. You can help them. You can help them. We all know drug-induced nutrient depletion. Sometimes it's very obvious. and it causes problems. And sometimes it's kind of that sneaky little ninja that after years and years will finally come up a problem. But it's proven. One of the most popular ones is statins. Even lay people are understanding that statins deplete coenzyme Q10. So one way that you can data mine your patient base is gather all the patients who have taken a statin. PMS systems now are very functional with text messaging, with emails, even robocalls. Even if you have a PMS system that maybe doesn't have that functionality, you can export that list and upload it into a system that does have that functionality. There's plenty of texting and automation things. Like, there is no reason for you to not be playing in this space with the technology that's available today. Many of it is very, very low cost. So this is not an expensive thing. And you probably have an employee on staff that can do this all for you. You don't have to figure this out as a pharmacy owner, or you can just go hire a virtual assistant and let them do it for you if you don't have somebody on staff. But let's say, for an example, take all your CoQ10 patients and let's come up with a message series, maybe 5 messages, 5 text messages, 3 emails, something simple, and explain to them that they need to be taking CoQ10 while on a statin. And for members in our membership, we've created a lot of these scripts for you, at least to give you a jumping off point. You're obviously free to edit as you will, but letting patients know, hey, patients who take a statin should be taking CoQ10. Here's 10% off. Come in and get your CoQ10 from us. Have you ever felt tired or weak since starting your statin? It might be your CoQ10. Come get your CoQ10 from us. You can do these little educational things, and it's amazing. Patients will respond. Sometimes they don't always respond with dollars. That's okay. But they respond with appreciation that you're looking out for them. I have never, ever had a negative response from a patient with saying, hey, because you're on this drug or because you have this ailment, you really should be taking this. Even if they say no, they still appreciate the fact that you took the time and energy and forethought to recommend it to them. So I think this is one of those programs in the data mining space that there's really no downside. Let your patients know. Another great category is birth control in women. Birth control depletes B vitamins. It does a lot of things to your body, but prevents pregnancy. And one of the things is you can target them. So we have a list. We actually have a free drug-induced nutrient depletion that you can download from our DiversifyRx website. So that's free to everybody. Kind of gives you my little template that I used for drug-induced nutrient depletion, where the pharmacies used to exit off, put it in the bag, and that way the cashier would know what to recommend for the patient. So that can kind of get you jump started. Those are the most common ones. Another one is like the metformin and the B vitamins, obviously probiotics with antibiotics, not necessarily a drug-induced nutrient depletion, but a common side effect recommendation. But you are sitting on a gold mine. I cannot express this to you enough. You could easily make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars extra a month by just implementing OTC suggestions based on the prescriptions that your patients are getting. Now, granted, I would definitely be training your employees. I would be having those one-on-one, those intimate human interactions as much as possible, but automate this, baby. It is 2024. There is so much technology out there. It is easy to do once it's set up, and you can just let it run and start small. Start with something like CoQ10 or birth control, and then you can start adding and expanding as you are comfortable and as you see fit. Put your in-store signage up. Don't forget about your bag stuffers. We can do low tech too, but I just think this is a huge opportunity that too many pharmacists are walking by, and we're getting owned by the GNCs. If you've gone to a GNC recently, I recently did. I was traveling with my son in California for Junior Olympics, and we ran out of one of our supplements that we had taken for him. And so I went to go find something, and I was just impressed with the amount of signage and the amount of education that they had on their shelves. We should be doing that. We are the actual experts of pharmacy and supplements and putting those things together. So if you think that data mining has negative uses only, you need to get rid of that myth, because that just isn't true. There's good ways to use data. You should understand your data. If you need help understanding your data, there's software companies that can help you do that. Ugo is probably my favorite one for understanding your data and seeing what other people might be dispensing, because they got this really really great ecosystem of thousands of pharmacies, and you can see what other people are dispensing that's profitable. And you're like, why am I not dispensing that? Well, maybe you're not attracting those patients. And so there's lots of things to do on the prescription side in order to optimize that PBM revenue. But there's also a ton you can be doing on the non-PBM side, your cash-based revenue. So the most important thing is just pick a path and get started. If you need help, that's what myself and my whole team at DiversifyRx is here for. We're here to help you. We're here to help our members. And I just can't say it enough that my team is amazing. And I just can't say it enough. We're here to help you thrive and just love pharmacy ownership again. So drop any questions or comments that you have. Feel free to reach out at any time. And I can't wait to hear what you guys do with this. So talk to you later. Bye-bye.